Richie, we cannot hear you. Nobody can hear you. I was thinking it's problem with me here.
Not hearing?
It's good now.
It's good now?
Yep.
Okay, great, guys. Sorry about that. And definitely thanks for pointing out that, guys. I mean, these things do happen from time to time. That is technology. All right, awesome. So definitely, I've been looking forward to having this conversation, and for sure, it's all about having fun. Um, and it's also a very great opportunity when we, as professionals within the industry, are able to connect with each other in this forum. And that's one of the beauty of having LinkedIn. It's a very amazing platform when professionals are able to communicate, they're able to have these conversations, we're able to share, we are able to build each other skill set. And that's the main aim of doing this. I have knowledge of things that you don't, vice versa. So it's all about seeing how best we're able to add value to each other within this industry. So, welcome to the third episode in this series, the realities associated with becoming a GRC analyst or a GRC specialist. And it's challenging to give you that real world experience. However, you may see this as a guide based on experience. That's the whole idea. Um, there's nothing like actually getting your hands dirty in the mud. So, not until you're actually doing the task or actually in the field, then you will not really appreciate or have that understanding of actually doing. But at least when someone is able to relate to you, you're able to have those conversations, then it does makes a lot of difference. And as it relates to this, then my advice when it comes on to the realities associated with becoming a GRC analyst or a GRC specialist or whichever career field it is, guys, it's very simple. Two things. One, you want to connect, and I mean, more than likely, you would have heard this before, right? So you would have understand at this point that this is very important. You want to connect with someone in that field, and you want to find out what it is that they do and see their mentorship. That's how I have actually been able to build my, I mean, professional career path. I find someone or a number of persons. You want to find that inner circle that you can actually seek the guidance, the mentorship, find out what it is that they're doing, their job role, their job descriptions. I mean, there are certain jobs that are, depending on the nature of the job, they might not be able to talk about every single thing, but at least they're able to provide some insights to, in some cases, even to give you certain assignments, certain tasks to say, do this, do that, so that you can build your skill set. And secondly, is that you want to, I find this very helpful, right? So you want to identify a few job descriptions. Look at those job descriptions of those areas that you want to get into in the field. And you want to look at those requirements. But the truth is, based on my experience, I mean, having a degree, having certs, it's good, all good. But the realities of the work environment versus what it is that you gain in academia, in many occasions, is totally two different things, right? So it's very important that you align yourself with job descriptions. I look at a number of job descriptions and there are a number of common points. There are a number of similar elements when it comes on to certain job roles. So you definitely recognize that you want to be guided, be steered in those directions to say, yes, these are the top set of skills requirements or the top 15 or top 20 that I need to be very versed in terms of actually adding these elements to my job description and also to find various ways that you can actually demonstrate these capabilities. And if you're following the CyberJ, I mean, YouTube channel, I've actually highlighted a number of these ways. I mean, persons, when you talk about persons like Bruce Brown, I mean, this guy is amazing. He has given so many pointers, so many highlights as it relates to building your career. I mean, so definitely you want to tune into Bruce. I mean, various streams channel from time to time. And there are a number of other persons in the industry that actually helps in this respect. And to help in this process, I have shared with me Pradeep Kushwah. Pradeep, thanks for joining and offering your invaluable support to this point. I really, appreciate it. Pradeep, you seem to be on mute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So
Okay,
thank
great.
you, Richie. Hi, everyone. Good morning and good evening. As you
Okay.
know, this is the series of discussions, and we'll be talking about a couple of job responsibilities, skill set needed to groom GRC specialist, and we talk how one who is really interested and want to devote some time and learn things, we can help you with the what is needed. But again, it's your effort and it's your time you need to invest uh, to get up to the speed. We can show you where and what needs to be done. But again, when it comes to really implementing those, really learning actual things, you'll have to go through the tutorials. You'll have to follow the links which Richie have been sending time to time. um, so yeah, this is really helpful. Richie, do you want me to share the screen, or you will
Uh,
be sharing the
no, not
screen?
yet. Not yet. Not yet. I will tell you when. No worries. Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, so there you have it. So we have Pradeep, guys, and it's a strange thing. Let me tell you the story behind Pradeep, guys. The fact that Pradeep is someone who is passionate about this field, and he actually reached out to me to say, "Hey, how can I assist? What can I do? What can I contribute? How can I be a part of what it is that you guys are doing?" And that is how Pradeep is actually, a part of what it is that I'm doing, and I really like this, enthusiasm, and that's one of the ways, guys, that you can actually build your skill sets. And the same goes that if you spend enough time around the barbershop, you will eventually get a haircut, right? And that is how I've been able to fuel my passion as it relates to building my skill set. Coming from being a IT technician, moving up to information security, cyber security, networking, I was like a nuisance to many persons during my career journey in terms of building my skill set. Right. So that's one of the things that you have to have, that pushing, that will, to say yes, I can actually achieve and move forward. Right. But with that said, then, so let us quickly look at, I mean, the series so far that we have actually been embarking on over the past few weeks. Let me quickly share with my screen with you guys quickly. Okay, great. So there we have it, guys. So looking at those realities, and there is no better way than actually looking at what it is that the job descriptions has to say about the job role itself, and you can also make that comparison with persons who are actually in the industry. So what I've done is actually look at a number of job descriptions as it relates to that GRC role, that GRC specialist or that GRC analyst, and to look at all of those job requirements in terms of the job responsibilities, the job scope. And to this point, we are actually at um, task or job responsibility number 2. Let me see if I can actually zoom this in a little bit more so that you guys are able to see. All right, so this is job responsibilities number 2, right? So last week we covered number 1, which is develop and implement IT governance policies and procedures in accordance, right? So we actually went through ways in which you can actually build this experience. Um, Secondly, they're asking that as the GRC analyst or the GRC specialist within this organization, then you will need to be able to collaborate with other IT and business units to establish and maintain a comprehensive IT risk management framework, including risk assessment, risk monitoring, and risk mitigation strategies. So right from the get-go, then it breaks this down in terms of one, you need to understand how to collaborate, what collaboration is all about. And that's one of the things in terms of building your soft skills. So you might have that technical background, but being able to communicate effectively, being able to connect, being able to build relationships within organization, guys, I can tell you based on experience, this makes so much difference. This can actually get you way ahead in terms of your career path, being able to build strong, valuable relationships. And that is one of the things that has actually been my career, regardless of the organizations that I've actually worked in or persons. My ability to build relationships from the ground up, I mean, connecting with persons from the ancillary staff right up to the executive, the general manager, the CEOs in all organizations that I work, that is what allows me to execute my job very effectively and very efficiently. Being able to connect. Because the thing is that you cannot work in silos in organization when it comes down to GRC. That's one of the things about GRC is to break down those silos so that everyone understand the overall objectives, the alignment with the business context within the organization. So being able to communicate, being able to relate helps along the way. So that you definitely want to build your skill set along that journey. Learning how to communicate and build strong relationships definitely will make that difference. And for sure, guys, feel free to, I mean, ask questions. I mean, provide suggestions. We're all here to learn, add value to each other. That's the main aim of doing this, guys. So to take us further into how it is that outside of actually having and knowing how to build um, your relationship skills, then Pradeep will then definitely take us through a number of other vital elements that speaks to this particular role in terms of collaborating with IT and business units to establish and maintain a comprehensive IT risk management framework, including risk assessment, risk monitoring, and risk mitigation strategies. So that's our main focus for this um, episode today. And there are a number of other elements that form this particular job description. So at the end of this, guys, then you should be able to add a number of um, things to your resume to say that you actually have gone through these sessions and you have garnered a number of insights into how it is that you're able to execute these roles. So, Pradeep, it's over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Richie. Are you sharing the screen or,
Or let
sorry, are you sharing
let me just
the
bring it
plan?
on screen. Uh, okay, I think this should be it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, so again, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, whatever time zone you are in. Like Richie covered couple of pointers. We will be talking a little bit more about those job responsibilities. In previous sessions, we have discussed what is the skill set needed, what are the technologies needed, what are the tools needed, and then and then the first one we discussed about the some of the frameworks which are available in the market, to manage that management framework, information security things. And today we are going to talk about the job responsibilities. So GRC is uh, GRC is actually very wide, very Uh, it's across the organization. You need to talk to people, to engage everybody, team, not only just with the IT team. You need to the external stakeholders. Sometimes the the government authorities who is doing conducting on your in your organization, and they are reviewing controls and risks, all those policies of time to time government, they will enforce certain policies and processes which we need to adopt in the organization. So we'll talk what are the responsibilities as an GRC specialist. If you could move down to the second uh, slide. So this diagram shows little bit the bigger picture, like how the team can be divided, right? It can have multiple teams involved in this, like uh, governance team. They simply, you know do the governance activities, the high level top management. You will have the opportunity to talk to them, right? And you will be talking to the ID team. You will be talking to integrated risk management team. You will be talking to the process owners, those who actually developing and designing the processes. um, you will be talking to the monitoring team who will be doing actual monitoring of the controls or the IT systems. So basically, this is like you will be collaborating and talking to various teams. But now it comes to how do we do that? It's just not going and attending meetings, doing the scrum calls, or having the one-to-one discussions, right? It needs to be documented. So you will have to use certain tools. For example, here I will give you some examples like the Splunk, IBM, QRadar. They are for the security information event management tool. And then Qualys, uh, Rapid, and then Tenable for the vulnerability management tools. And then QOWASP, ZAP, Nessus. There are tool for common tool used for continuous security testing. So basically, it's not just one team. You will have to, if you know one or other tool, that is bad. If you don't know, they will coach you, but you should have certain experience. You should be capable, right? So that is first and foremost responsibility of the GLH. Pass the information, talk to them, what they what other stakeholders need. You need to be a mediator between them. The next slide, please.
Okay, sure.
So automated process to continuously monitor information security controls and exceptions, risks, and testing. So like we talked about, right? Implementing a process such as uh, to automate these processes. You will have a reporting, right? So reporting, you cannot generate ad hoc report every time. You cannot go to the Excel, open PPTs and generate. You should have certain tool for reporting and dashboarding that will generate automatically. You should have some tool to, for example, Archer or any risk management tool to capture all those risks and controls and
Oh,
you
Pradeep,
know.
one second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, not just not to interrupt. So pretty much what you're actually saying is that this is not all about using tools or becoming familiar with frameworks, but as the job role actually highlights, and that's one of the key things. The job role actually highlights collaboration, right? So there are
Yes.
various ways that you can actually build collaboration within an organization in
Right.
terms of collaborating with IT. There are various platforms, there are various tools that you can use to make that alignment with IT in terms of the various business units to carry out all of these various activities. So that is one of the things that
That's correct.
Pradeep is actually bringing across. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So you see the first diagram, which says there are various departments, sometimes government, legal, and sort of stuff. You need to collaborate with them, right? So that we will need certain tools. So that's your responsibility. You move on to the next one is um,
Let me
yeah,
see.
Richie, next slide,
Give me a second.
fourth slide.
Uh,
Yeah, so this is about the defining the roles and responsibilities and documenting, right? So one person, cannot handle everything. If they handle, we cannot achieve the organization goal because it's not sufficient. So you should be able to, define and document the roles and responsibilities. You can use a couple of tools, multiple tools, maybe the project management tools. You can use Jira, Confluence, SharePoint, um, define the documents and define the roles and responsibility, right? You can use various matrices. Uh, there is one tool called RACI matrix. Is a simple tool used to define and track responsibilities for the tasks and processes. So um, one of the responsibility is basically to split the tasks and assign it to individual owners. Tools like Google Docs, Microsoft SharePoint, Confluence can be used to maintain control ownership documents and and um, based on whatever is the task and responsibility you want to define, you need to split that. You need to develop a culture to continuously improve and collaborative excellence. So basically, uh, you need to have certain process collaborate uh, with the people, right? um, yeah.
exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah, next slide I'm asking, Richie.
Okay. Good.
So yeah, and then the actual responsibility comes regarding scheduling, assessment, and testing, and then effectiveness and the efficiency of the controls. So you will be kind of responsible or partially responsible for managing the controls effectively, and you need to make sure they are efficient enough. So efficiency means doing things doing uh, uh, things right, and effectiveness means um, doing the right thing. And then sometimes if it is more efficient, if it is not effective, then that's not the right tool, vice versa. So that tool is the right thing behind it. It's basically based on what is the requirement from the what is the organization goal. So things vary depending on organization to organization, but the ultimately you will have to uh, you will be partially responsible, not if 100%, because you are not the leadership, right? You are not part of leadership team. You will have to provide them the information, you will have to assess the controls, you will have to assess the risk, and then provide the effectiveness and efficiency of um, those controls. uh, and then the last one, Richie. Okay, one point I left here is based on the your analysis and research, right? You will be finding certain things. You will have to do based on the reporting, based on the uh, you may find certain controls are little weak or they are not sufficient to handle the risk. Then you will have to research. You will have to do, collect the information also. You will have to do not within the organization. Sometimes you have to go to the out of the box and find the solution, find the more um, efficient way of handling the risks. So this last slide talks about the risk management frameworks. There are uh, many risk management frameworks. I'm not talking about that, but um, you one of the responsibility is to manage the risk. There is a risk cycle starting from the analysis to developing a process and controls, and then reviewing them continuously, building the strategy out of it. This is ongoing process. We will have to continuously engage people, work the teams, and and write fix. So risk assessment management methodologies, and so there are many management and risk assessment method part of management teams also. That's it. I had it, Richie.
Uh, Great. Great points that you have actually mentioned here. Pradeep, thanks for sharing that information with us. So, guys, then looking back at the very important point as it relates to building your skill sets, goes back to the job role, the job responsibilities that you are required to do, right? So that's very important in terms of actually building your skill set within the industry, to look at all those items, all those job requirements, the responsibilities, the job description, and then find ways or to see how best it is that you can actually develop the skill set that is required. And there are so many, resources, talking about the various frameworks, talking about the various um, paths that you can actually take in terms of building your career within the GRC space. But just for us to look back at the job responsibility guide is the fact that it states that collaborate with other IT and business units. And this is very important, as I often point this out. It goes right back to the way that you're able to bring across, to communicate, and to bring that alignment, right? So collaborate with other IT and business units to establish and maintain um, a comprehensive IT risk management framework. So from the get-go, you want to understand all about IT risk management frameworks, right? And there are many IT risk management frameworks, from the NIST, as well as you have the ISO, right? So you have NIST risk management framework, you have the ISO um, risk management standard, right? Risk monitoring, and also risk mitigation strategies. So that is where you would want to spend most of your time in terms of gaining all the valuable knowledge, the insight, the understanding, looking at how it is. That's always the question. How it is that I actually carry out all of these functions. How it is that I carry out a risk assessment. How do I collaborate? How do I mean, build relationship with other, units within the organization? How do I maintain, right? How do I maintain a comprehensive risk management framework? And that's the approach. So many times we want to get all of these job roles, but not many persons are actually taking that time to actually do what is required in terms of doing the necessary research, understand these fundamental principles, taking that time to break apart these various framework, these resources, connecting with persons, understand what it is that persons are actually doing, so that you can actually take your practical skills to the next level. Now, as it relates to a number of important points comes from this particular task. Let me just bring this task back in focus for you to look at this job role, guys. Right? So it says, and we are looking at job role number 2. Collaborate with other IT and business units to establish, maintain. Right? So there are a number of ways or effective communication strategies for collaborating with IT and business units. That's very important in terms of the strategies that you use for collaborating with IT and business units. So you definitely must take that time to find out what it is that you can, I mean, effectively communicate with and collaborate with your IT business units, right? And that's where you want to develop and apply a comprehensive understanding of the operational processes and business strategies within the organization. You want to um, maybe partner with the right GRC specialists within the organization, right? You want to use clear and concise language to avoid misunderstanding. This is very important. Using the right language in terms of communication, establishing the right communication channels, right? To keep everyone informed and up to date in terms of what it is that you're trying to achieve. Using, going back to Pradeep, being able to use those visual aids, use of various diagrams, flow charts, graphs, for example. In a case, for example, you're working with for maybe applying or working on the a compliance standards such as GDPR, and you're able to develop those various data mapping charts is very important, right? So being able to encourage feedback using the appropriate questions to ensure that everyone understands the information that is being presented by you as the professional within the industry itself, right? And also how it is that you can actually ensure that the IT risk management framework within the organization aligns with the organization's overall goals and objectives. That's also another component of job responsibility number 2. Bear in mind that when you're employed, it is expected that you have all of this knowledge, all of this understanding, right? They are expecting that you know how to collaborate, you know how to align with IT, how to align with the business units. All of these things are required of you, right? So, as it relates to this element, then you want to translate the organization's vision and mission statement into actionable strategies, right? So, when you get into an organization, and this is something that I find very lacking, many times persons, when they work in various companies, they do not understand what the mission, what the goal, what the vision of this organization is. So this in of itself also helps you in this regard as a GRC professional. What it is that you do must be in line with helping the organization to meet these various objectives, right? Understand what the client expects and align risk management objectives and criteria with the organizational goals and values. You want to also, let me see, ensure that risk management goals and objectives, for example, are consistent and also supportive of the organization business objectives and the strategies, right? You want to think about, aligning risk categories and criteria with strategic goals and values that reflect the priorities and preferences of the organization. So the key thing in all of this, guys, is that you want to take the time to break this apart. How do I collaborate? All of these things you want to take into consideration, right? How do you actually perform regular audits of IT systems? Looking at the steps involved, right? How do you look at the various audits of processes? How do I look at auditing controls across our business units, right? To identify potential risk and gaps in compliance. So those are the questions. How do you actually conduct your risk assessment? How do you actually develop the mitigation plans for um, potential IT security breaches and other incidents? How do you maintain that up-to-date knowledge of regulatory requirements, standards, guidelines? How do you develop and maintain a strong relationship? Right? All of this goes back to strong relationship, communication, right? With internal and external stakeholders. That's one of the key things about the GRC role is that you have to spend a lot of time in terms of building relationships and communicating with persons right across various spheres within the organization. That's a very critical skill that you have to develop. Um, and you go along further, it says ensure that all IT related incidents and risks are appropriately documented. Question is, how do you carry out all of these activities? Collaborate with IT teams. Going back to the same task above, how do you conduct that business impact analysis and data privacy impact analysis? Right? These of themselves are comprehensive activities tasks in of themselves that in some cases will take a number of, I mean, session experiences to be fully explained to you. I mean, sitting with someone is actually carrying out these tasks is also very helpful, and there are also a number of other resources that you can actually tap into. So, guys, this is one of the way that I strongly recommend that you build your skill set to really understand, because these tasks in of themselves tells you what the reality looks like on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis, on a week-to-week basis. These are the things that you will encounter, and it varies from organization, but in many cases these are similar things that you as a GRC analyst or a GRC specialist or whatever you want to call, maybe GRC professional, will encounter in various aspects of your job function, your job responsibilities. And as I've mentioned before, there's no better way for you to garner this insight than to align yourself with persons in the industry and also looking at various job descriptions. That is one of the way that I've been able to build my skill set, guys. To look at those job descriptions to see what is required so that I am able to align myself accordingly. And over the coming weeks, then guys, what we're going to be doing is to further look at ways that you can actually conduct your risk assessment, bringing persons, other persons from in the industry that will actually share with you also what it is that you actually perform audits of IT systems, their processes, and control across all business units. And there's so much that I want to share with you from a GRC perspective, guys. I mean, uh, as we go along, we're going to be taking this in bite sizes as we try to help, I mean, all of us, especially for those who are actually new in the GRC space who want to build your career, your skill set, then you definitely want to take things in stages, guys. So going back to those two basic principles, connect with someone who is in the industry, build those relationships, look at the job descriptions, look at what is listed on those job descriptions, all the requirements. You want to compare a number of these job descriptions and to look at those common um, requirements. And as you notice on this job description itself, is that there's not a large emphasis on, I mean, a particular certification or a particular maybe degree or something to that effect. But the tasks, the responsibilities, those are the key things. And then you can always seek the necessary certifications accordingly as is required. So, guys, there you have it for this, I mean, series looking at our second element of this job description. So definitely, guys, definitely hope that you found this, I mean, insightful for persons who might be seeing this for the first time. Um, just be consistent, be persistent in your pursuit to become a professional within the industry. It is not the easiest thing in terms of actually breaking into the industry, as they always say, or maybe getting that ideal job that you're always looking for. But if you are persistent enough, if you um, align yourself accordingly with the right persons that you really want to emulate to get into the field, then by building your network, by building relationships, then you will eventually um, these relationships can ultimately open doors for you in terms of taking your career to the next level from a GRC perspective. So, guys, definitely stay connected. I mean, do your research, look at the various ISACA publications, the various NIST publications, ISO publications. There are so many readily available resources as it relates to building your GRC skill set, looking at those COVID principles, and the list goes on, right? So, guys, definitely, I mean, hope that you have garnered some insights, some guidelines from this that you can actually take to start building that momentum of becoming a GRC or GRC analyst. So, see you in our next series, guys.